Alright, hello guys, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena draft video. I just woke up right now and yeah, Throne of Eldraine apparently is going to end in 41 minutes. I did a Theros Beyond Death draft yesterday, managed to get to 4 and 3, so nothing too exciting to showcase. As you can see, my 5,000 gems disintegrated, so given that Throne of Eldraine is going to end very soon, I don't mind just firing off maybe 2 or even 3 more drafts, doing some Throne of Eldraine before we head back into Zendikar Rising. So let's savor the final hours that we have for Throne of Eldraine and see what cool archetypes we can explore in this set. It's definitely not as deep as Zendikar Rising, but it's a solid draft format. I have to admit, it's not the worst, but it's also not the best. Alright then, pack 1, pick 1. What do we have the fine pleasure of opening today for our draft? Any powerful bombs, any powerful rares, any powerful mythics, and that's a nice rare to open. I mean, although there's Edgewall Innkeeper, which is also great, and then there's also Occame Adversary. As you can see, green is very powerful and deep in this set. Also Golgari, but I wouldn't take it over the other single-colored cards. So what do the cards want us to do? Occame Adversary is very nice if you're playing against an opposing green deck, since it costs 2 generic less, and whenever it deals combat damage, it draws a card. But Edgewall Innkeeper can definitely do a lot more work than Occame Adversary if you can build around it and play a bunch of adventure creatures. Wildborn Preserver is just an amazing 2-drop, which can grow large over time, depending on the amount of non-human creatures that you play. So I think it's probably Edgewall Innkeeper over Occame Adversary, but between Wildborn Preserver and Edgewall Innkeeper, it is close. I think Edgewall might just be the pick here. I think card advantage is usually typically better than just having a large creature, but Wildborn Preserver can have its moments. You can flash ambush a creature or block off like a flyer, like a Tome Raider, and then afterwards, after doing so, you can just grow at large of a non-human creature. So it's pretty difficult to know which one to take, but I feel like Edgewall Innkeeper has a lot more upside. Now, that being said, this pack just doesn't have anything amazing in terms of adventures. If we'd taken the the Wildborn Preserver, we'd probably be looking at Fairy Vandal as an excellent non-human creature to go along with it. Archon would have been fine too with the Wildborn Preserver, but white-green is usually going to have a lot of humans. So between Fairy Vandal and Archon Absolution, I feel like the Fairy Vandal could just be correct. White-green is the Adventures deck though, so Archon Absolution does kind of fit well with the Edgewall Innkeeper. But Fairy Vandal, actually, yeah, these are both kind of close, to be honest. I haven't drafted white-green yet, so maybe I just take the Archon. Fairy Vandal is very excellent, though, in the red-green, the red-blue draw your second card matters archetype, but yeah, let's just keep ourselves flexible. Maybe just take an Archon. Haven't drafted the white-green Adventures deck so far. And now what do we have? There's a Fae of Wishes. There's also Toonvale Treefolk, which can be a fine adventure creature, but it's pretty expensive at 6 mana. And we can always pick up one later. The Fae is just cheap to cast, it's a good ground blocker, and it also has adventure synergies with the Edgewall Innkeeper. We can also prioritize a bit more for our sideboard, since the Sorcery half can fetch us a non-creature spell from our sideboard to cast it for later. So, I mean, I think Fae is an okay card. I don't think it's amazing. I would definitely take like Bacon to a Pie or even Reave Soul, pack 1, pick 1 over it, but overall, there's nothing too impressive in this pack. So, yeah, let's take a Fae of Wishes. Surkara's pretty late, although there's Lucky Clover with an Edgewall Innkeeper that can definitely be a thing. If we've taken the Fairy Vandal, we'd be probably looking at the Surkara in this pack. Although Surkara doesn't actually draw us cards, it mostly exiles the top of our library, so it doesn't really trigger the Vandal. And yeah, I don't mind the Lucky Clover here, especially with the Edgewall Innkeeper. And it can also enable the Fae of Wishes to get 2 cards. The Sakara is better in like some sort of red aggressive Knights deck, which I'm not sure if we want to be in yet. It's not really good in red-green non-human since it's a human. And at 3 power and 3 toughness, it does get answered by a decent amount of removal at common. So it's not the most impressive card, but it's a good card that can help you like generate card advantage in the late game. But I think we'll just take a Lucky Clover here and see where we end up. There's also Fairy Guide Mutter, but I'm not going to take it over Lucky Clover. Okay, late Wintermoor Commander. There's also the Bell of the Brawl for the Knights deck as well. Both great uncommons for the Knights deck, which both typically want to be in red in the Mardu colors, so it doesn't really fit well with the Edgewall Innkeeper or Fae of Wishes. The Bell of Brawl has a little bit more flexibility, I guess, if we do end up in some sort of black-green deck, and we don't mind having some random 3-drop and some Knight synergies. But overall, I think the Wintermoor Commander could just be the better card. But maybe I still just take the Brawl, just Bell the Brawl for flexibility. It's just a great card in general, even if we end up in Black-White Knights. So we'll take it here. And Oakham Adversary pretty late. Excellent adventure creatures to go along with our Edgewall Innkeeper and the Lucky Clover. And we also have the Archon of Absolution set up. So good. This could be our sign to move into the White-Green Adventures deck, which I was hoping to be in with the Edgewall Innkeeper. That being said, if we took the, the Fairy Vandal, the last 2 picks wouldn't have been great since the Lucky Clover. And since the Lucky Clover and the Bell don't really fit into that game plan. I guess Sakara could have been fine with it, but the last pack didn't have any amazing red cards. I guess we would be looking at a 7 Dwarves if we're going to for the red-blue draw 2 game plan, but this time I can take an Oakham Ranger. Pretty late Sakara though, and Steel Gaze Griffin, so blue-red could just be the open archetype, but given that, again, I didn't take any blue-red cards, I'll still just take a Fierce Witchstalker as an excellent medium creature on turn 4. It's a little thing to note. I do have a bunch of 4s already, so it's not going to be at its best if I pick up even more 4-drops. But I don't really want to just take Sakara here. I think we're kind of set up for a nice green green-white adventures deck and this is still a fine card. And I'll just take my Fairy Guide Mother as an excellent adventure creature to go along with our Edgewall Innkeeper. Can free our creatures from the Trapped in the Tower enchantment-based removal, and it can also give us an evasive attack if we use the sorcery portion of it. More blue-red cards, Steel Gaze Griffin and Merchant of the Veil, still in the pack. And I'll just take a random Jousting Dummy, might have some Knight synergies maybe. No great adventure cards. There's also Wicked Guardian, but most of our creatures are at low toughness. So yeah, I feel like we're going to be in the Green-White Adventures deck from what I'm looking at, but the Fairy Vandal managed to make it. I mean, we did give up a bunch of red cards, so I guess I'll take it out of this pack over the Insatiable Appetite. So this could be a sign that we should just be in blue-red maybe, and hopefully we get there, but I guess I'll just take a Knight of the Keep in case I still end up in Green-White Adventures. This is definitely a sign that blue-red is open, seeing this being passed to me, as well as the Fairy Vandal, as well as some of the other cards. But we'll see. And here, Savvy Hunter is excellent. Do we end up in some sort of black-green Foots deck? Alternatively, there's just a Toonvale Treefolk, or I can just take a Youthful Knight. The best card is by far the Savvy Hunter, and I would definitely take it pack 1, pick 1, but it just doesn't fit with any of our colors. I mean, I could still take it here and maybe end up in some sort of black-green Foods deck if white is cut off, because I don't really care about... I'm not going to take a Youthful Knight over this or a Toonvale Treefolk, so... I mean, there's also some blue-red cards too, Sage of the Falls, Searing Barrage, but again, we passed up too much red in our first pack. I don't know if we even want to be in that archetype. Let's just take a Savvy Hunter. There's a chance we still end up in the black-green Foods deck. Mad Ratter being passed, okay, and now Charm Sleep. Fireborn Knight, there's a Merreleaf Rider, I guess, as a fine 2-drop to be playing in either green-white or the black-green deck. I guess there's also Reaper of Knights for the black-green deck as well, since this is a nice adventure creature to go along with our Lucky Clover. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go into Mad Ratter. We just passed up too many red cards, so I think we're just going to limit our options in either the black-green Foods deck or the white-green Adventures deck. So I feel like the Merreleaf Rider is kind of like a safe middle ground to be in. So, and hopefully we can maybe pick up a Reaper of Night later. But no one wants to respect red, so a little bit weird. Could just take an Enchanted Carriage, could just take another Fairy Guide Mother for the Adventures theme in the deck. I don't think we're going to go quadruple blue for the Rampart Smasher. I feel like I should just take the Enchanted Carriage in case I needed some sort of 5-drop. But yeah, blue-red's really definitely open. Maybe I misread the signals, but yeah, I think we're just a little bit too far committed into the Abzan colors that we can't really afford to. And now Trapped in a Tower is a strong removal spell. Witch's Vengeance could also be a thing as well, but it's not that great. I mean, you can maybe take a whole tribe of creatures, but I feel like we could just be in white-green more than black-green foods. I don't know. Both of them are kind of close, actually. The Witch's Vengeance has the upside of dealing with multiple tribal creatures, but I'll just take an Out Muscle here. And then, I guess I'll take a Cauldron. There's also Malevolent Noble if I want to stick a little bit into black, but Cauldron can fit in any deck, and I could use a little bit more interaction. So, I don't know, after passing up the Fairy Vandal, I kind of feel bad now in the first pack, because I could have maybe end up in a busted blue-red, draw your second card matters archetype, but we still have an okay deck, I think. Definitely a lot weaker than the blue-red deck, but overall it does have a decent creature curve, and we do need to fill up our 2-drop department more, and we can still be again in black-blue, green-black foods, even though we did pass up Witch's Vengeance and the Tempting Witch one of the packs, and I'll just take a Reave Soul or the Surferin. Maybe just Surferin. I mean, Surferin will be great if there's a way to enhance it. Reave Soul is a sign that black-green foods is open though. But Surferin just keeps us in green, right? So I gotta take it, I imagine. And it's a 2-drop I can play in the deck. Ooh, okay, Piper the Swarm. Alright, I guess black-green foods is the place to be, actually, since there was this, like 0 white cards being passed to us in the late. Piper is definitely a sign, so we're just gonna be back in the black-green foods. And I'll take a Garenbreak Paladin as a decent curve topper. There's a chance we end up splashing the Trapped in the Tower, but honestly, yeah. Still no adventure creatures for the Edgewall Innkeeper, so I do kind of feel bad here. And, well, I can now take the Garenbreak Carver. There's also Spinning Wheel that can maybe enable some sort of splash and ramp. But I feel like in green there's a Rosedorn Acolytes on turn 3 that can do almost the same. And I could use an adventure creature for the Edgewall Innkeeper and the Lucky Clover, so the Carver seems okay. And then take a Quarry, don't think it's playable in this set. So, yeah, I guess we're back to square one. So next pack we definitely need to make sure everything counts. Because overall this deck looks pretty mediocre at the moment. We could have had a Reave Soul in this deck too, but I guess Surverin is still okay. In terms of removal, like Scalding Cauldron, Out Muscle, Insatiable Appetite aren't amazing. Even Tempting Witch Wield. So black-green food does seem pretty open from the looks of it. And Bella Brosto has synergy with the Merreleaf Rider and Garenbreak Paladin, so it's a fine 3-drop, nothing exciting. Even Noble Wield, okay. So I guess we're just going to be in black-green foods now. And Ayara, even though not the easiest to cast, it seems like the best card in this pack. There's also the Arcanist Owl, Trapped in a Tower, Wicked Guardian, hopefully we can pick up later. But I'm not going to say no to an Ayara. Yeah, definitely difficult to cast, but even if you cast this late, this is nice, since you can just drain the opponent every single time you play a black creature, and then whenever you sack a black creature, this can be a decent way to gain value. So Ayara is definitely going to be my pick here. If this wasn't this pack, probably just a Wicked Guardian, but we'll try Ayara and Surferin in the same deck, even though the mana requirements are a little bit more intensive than usual. It's just the best card, so we gotta take her. And here, could just take a Smitten Swordsmaster, because we do have a bit of a Knight synergy with the Bell, the Merreleaf Rider, the Jousting Dummy, and the Garenbreak Paladin. Don't really want to prioritize another Garenbreak Carver. Sporecap Spider is okay, but pretty medium, so don't mind the Smitten Swordsmaster. Also an adventure creature for the Edgewall Innkeeper as well, so it's not that bad. I'm hoping I get like a Reaper of Night pretty late, so my Lucky Clovers can become insane. Okay, could just take a Giant Skewer, or I can just take another Marrowleaf Rider. Yeah, nothing amazing in this pack. There's also another Lucky Clover in this pack, believe it or not. Yeah, this pack doesn't seem great. This is 5 mana, which is already really expensive, which I don't even like, to be honest. Maybe just take another Marrowleaf Rider. Gingerbread Brutes, not super amazing in this deck. It is food, but it's better in some sort of aggro deck where you can enhance this and get in a huge attack. So I'll just take another Marrowleaf Rider, and I'll just take another Out Muscle. Alright, we almost have a full deck, but not an amazing, impressive deck, but it's fine. Kiri's Bear, decent adventure creature, makes a food. The only problem with this deck is that it's lacking a bit of top end at the moment, and cards like Lucky Clover aren't very amazing from the looks of it. I mean, we do have a bit of adventure synergy, but not too much. The only adventure card I'm happy to payoff I'm happy to be playing is the Edgewall Innkeeper. We have some okay removal, not very amazing removal. Could even decide to tech in the Lash of Thorns in this deck if we're not planning to use a Lucky Clover. But I'm hoping I get like some sort of Reaper Knight after this pick, so then this Lucky Clover seems great. But I'll take a Tree Folk, I guess. Okay, Tree Folk can be a nice top-end creature, and does play well with the Lucky Clover and the Edgewall Innkeeper. Ooh, another Savvy Hunter. Okay, seems good. Could just dump the Jousting Dummy maybe from this deck. Could just cut the Malevolent Noble, I mean. Could cut the Scalding Cauldron or the Insatiable Appetite. I guess I'll just take as many Marrowleaf Riders as I need, and if I'm going to take the Marrowleaf Rider, I could just dump the Noble maybe. Yeah, we'll see. I could also consider Festive Funeral, since some of the cards might end up in the graveyard, but it's just not very good, so we'll just take the Marrowleaf Rider, and maybe we can even just ditch the Jousting Dummy since it's just too expensive to use. And we should have enough Knights. We can even go 16 lands since the curve looks really low. But overall, the Lucky Clover also doesn't seem very good in this deck. I guess it's really good as a Tree Folk. It's decent with the Garenbray Carver. Okay with the Kiri's Pair. Okay with the Smitten Swordsmaster. So yeah, again, it's just not super amazing. So I'm hoping I find another card, like I guess the Wicked Guardian is nice. We have too many humans, I think, to want the Rosethorn Halberd. I think the Wicked Guardian is nice in this deck since we do have plenty of 3 toughness. And it's mostly going to draw us a card, so I don't hate it here. Source Master, Sporecap Spider might even make it. Don't need a second Insatiable Appetite, but we'll take it here. I'm hoping I get a Reaper, but no Reaper. Okay, so the Lucky Clover probably is going to be our cut. Then maybe we just ditch the Sporecap Spider since this is just very expensive. We do have Night Synergy again with the Bell of the Brawl. And some food synergies with the Savvy Hunter since they can still sack foods and draw a card. I can even just cut this Malevolent Noble, to be honest. Like, it can be a fine mana sink though. I mean, with the Piper making rats, this can sack the rats. It can also sack a creature that's about to die and gain a counter. So it's actually not that bad. It's a decent sack outlet for the deck. Overall, just a very okay medium deck, I think. We can even just run 16 lands and say screw it, because the curve is not really that high. I guess we have a bunch of out muscles we don't mind casting on for, but in terms of our big creatures, there's only the Toonvale Tree Folk, Garenbray Paladin, and the Enchanted Carriage. Our curve usually just ends at 4, so I could even just run away with 16 lands, to be honest. We might need the Piper as a mana sink, though. All these creatures are just like whatever, they're just really cheap. Same with the 3-drops. The 4-drops, yeah, sure, but we'll eventually get there with 4 mana anyways. So I could just go 16 lands and say screw it. It's nice having an Insatiable Appetite as some sort of pump trick anyways in the deck like this. And then I don't really like the Jousting Dummy. It does have a bit of Night Synergy, but we do have enough Knights already on turn 3. And then like this can be a fine mana sink, but it's still a lot of mana just to activate. The Marrowleaf Rider it's just a 3-1 right away, so it doesn't seem that great. Lucky Clover, again, do I need it? It's great with the Toonvale Tree Folk. Okay with the Garenbray Carver, but we don't care about that too much. And okay with the Kiri's Pair and the Smitten Swordsmaster, but again, not too many any adventure creatures, so I don't like the Lucky Clover in the deck. I could also consider using Lash of Thorns over the Insatiable Appetite instead. But the Insatiable Appetite could give us like lethal a lot more, since if we manage to make some foods with the Curious Pair and the Savvy Hunter and the Tempting Witch, and we get an attack and the opponent decides not to block, we can just stack the food and deal 5 immediately. So it does have some decent. It does have more upside, I think, than Lash of Thorns. Lash of Thorns is a better and a much more low to the ground, low curve aggressive deck with first striking creatures like I guess the Youthful Knight to enable it, and usually 1 toughness is okay, but it's not like super relevant. In terms of knights, how much do we have? 7 knights. So the Piper Spin Source Master is still okay, since it also gives us an adventure creature for the Edgewall Innkeeper to use. We already have 1 noble, so it's still okay here. In terms of removal, again, double out muscle, the Scalding Cauldron to a lesser extent, Insatiable Appetite, and Garenbreak Carver as pump tricks. So yeah, we're still lacking a bit of the removal spells, but we should be okay. On how do we deal with flyers, I guess we can tech in the Warcraft Spider, but our 3s look good anyways. I think we can, if we can just aggro the opponent out and deal enough, and pressure the opponent enough, they'll eventually just try to trade or block with their flyers, so we don't need to worry that much. And again, the Malevolent Noble has decent synergy in this deck. We can sacrifice the rats to the Malevolent Noble, although the Piper although we want to save up rats for the Piper to steal something. It's also fine with the food synergies. The foods that we generate is fine if a creature is about to die. It's pretty decent in the Enchanted Carriage too, after it makes the 2/1/1s that we can sack. So yeah, I think this deck is alright. Do I still want to go 16 lands though? We're not that mana intensive. Like we have a bunch of stuff to cast on 4. Like these cards are most likely going to be our 4-cost cards. But overall, anything past 4 is just a Toonvale Treefolk, which I don't care about too often. So I think it's fine going like this. Just go. Actually, I think it's fine to just go maybe even split on the mana base. To be honest, since we do need triple black for the Iara and double and triple black for Adamant Outmuscle, I think it's fine still going 16 lands, to be honest. I mean, I could just cut the pump spell, why not, and just go 17 lands. 16, 17, it's kind of interesting. Because we just don't have too many ways to prevent Flood. Honestly, the only ways we can prevent Flood is like the Wicked Guardian can cycle itself. Yeah, without too many ways to prevent Flood, I think we go 16 lands and say screw it. Yeah, let's try it out. This feels like a Go Garbage deck, since it's not like the best Golgari deck. If I had a Reaper, I'd probably go 17 lands, but again, I don't think we want to go 17 in a deck like this. So we'll try it out, and if it doesn't work out, might just cut the Insatiable Appetite to put more lands in the deck. But 16, but I've been flooding out with 16 lands, believe it or not, so I think this deck is still okay. And we might want to pump the Surferin too with the Insatiable Appetite to get in a good attack. Opening hand, what do we see? We have both our colors and Curious Pair on 1, Mereleaf Friar on 2, Savvy Hunter on 3. Seems good. I can hide the knowledge that I have a Scalding Cauldron, so he might play into it. So I think I'm just going to make a food with the Curious Pair. And I don't need to play the Curious Pair right away. I can wait until I get my Edgewall Innkeeper to draw cards off of it, so... We do have triple black for a Yara, so I'm fine showing him the second color. I'm fine maybe just taking 2 because he could play like a 3-drop that's a lot more annoying, and I can trade my Marrowleaf Rider for it. Like a Trebuchet. I could always just... I guess I'm fine taking 2 here. And I guess I'm fine just attacking, like, Iara, so I do want to play out my swamps. Yeah, let's just attack for 3. I'm fine if he trades, I'm fine if he doesn't trade, because if he trades, I still get to use up a food here. But he probably won't trade because he wants to enable the Flutterfox flying still. So it's okay, and then I can play out the Savvy Hunter, who he trades. Okay, I'm fine with this, and if he doesn't, I can just Scalding Cauldron next turn and take it out. But the Savvy Hunter definitely needs to be answered because I can just gain a million food and gain life. So yeah, that's a reason why aggro also isn't so amazing in this set, because of cards like Savvy Hunter. He could of course have his own removal spell, but we don't really care. So what I can do is I can use, this is very interesting, I can use the Marrowleaf Rider to fight off one of its creatures and then sack a food forcing him to block. That's actually a pretty cool idea. Alternatively, I can play Scalding Cauldron and just use it. But I feel like it's better to just use the Outmuscle here. And we'll fight off the Raging Redcap. What does he have? Nothing? I mean, I could force him to block with the Brimstone Trebuchet, but we'll try it next turn. I think it's fine just attacking the Savvy Hunter and making a food. And I could also sack a food to draw a card, but I don't think it's necessary. Okay. So now I can sack foods to force his stuff to block, like this Inspiring Veteran. Yeah, he can just untap it here. And tap it, and then deal 2 damage to me. I can also just Scalding Cauldron to take this out. Okay, just trying to get as much damage in as much as possible. Makes sense. Guess I'll take 4. So next turn is pretty nice for me. I can force the 1/3 to block, and then I can just Scalding Cauldron, taking out the 2/2 flyer, the 2/2, which is very annoying. Or I can just play out Ayara. Ayara can be pretty nice. Yeah, let's just try that. Maybe Ayara is fine, and we can save it up for next turn. Yeah, let's just move to combat. I mean, he can also block with the Inspired Veteran, so maybe I just take it out anyways. But I guess I'm forced with the... Yeah, he can just double block, but nah, let's just... Yeah, he can double block and take out my Marrowleaf Rider, so I think it's fine just taking out the Inspiring Veteran here. So he doesn't have a good double block, and then I can eat the Brimstone Trebuchet for free and start making food still. So yeah, we're doing good. This will also lose flying, so I guess he can't block after you use the tap, so I messed it up here. So yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. That was bad. Forgot that he could tap this to make it unable to block, but I guess I'll just take a bit of damage. I can stack foods to gain life, and then and also play out Ayara instead. I guess I can force the Fairy Guide Mother to trade, but he can first strike away my creature. So still not in a great shape. Insatiable Appetite though, okay. Huh. That's not bad. I don't hate the Insatiable Appetite. I could just take too much damage though. So I guess I'm just fine maybe just attacking the Savvy Hunter and gaining 3 life. And then play out Ayara. Because I could force the Fairy Guide Mother to block, he'll try to first strike me, and then I'll Insatiable Appetite blowing him out. Let's just play out Ayara first. Yeah, I can force him to block for the Fairy Guide Mother. I don't hate it. And then I can maybe use the Insatiable Appetite here. Now, let's just attack with the Savvy Hunter, I think. I don't think he can kill me fast enough. He can double block, I guess, but then I'll just use the Insatiable Appetite. And hoping he doesn't have a red cap melee, but that's an uncommon, so I don't care about. I'll happily just use the Insatiable Appetite here to blow him out. Okay, he doesn't care. Okay, I guess I'll just sack and gain life, rather, and then I can even draw a card next turn with the foods, so this seems fine, and we'll just say go. Could just keep the foods, of course, to gain life, because I'm at a pretty low life total, so probably need to be careful here. And I can't activate a Yara if he has removal, since she just came in, so... Okay, I'm going to go down to 4 since he can activate the Trebuchet. But I should be able to survive, so thank god I gained some life. And I had to use a main phase in case he could respawn with something, but this is still fine. And yeah, that's really nice. Smitten Swordsmaster, being able to drain a bit. Yeah, I guess we just activate the Smitten Swordsmaster, drain a bit of life, and let's see what he tries here. Could have a removal spell. I think I'm fine playing out the Smitten here to make him lose an extra life. And then he's forced to block here since he's going to be down to 1. So yeah, let's just move to combat. I think I'm fine sending it all, and even if he has first strike, we should be able to take him out. Okay, pretty annoying. Sure. I'm fine tapping out here just to gain some life so I don't die. So with a Searing Barrage, how much damage is this? But he doesn't have Adamant for Searing Barrage, he only has it as removal, so I think we'll survive this for sure. And then one more black creature off the top, we should be able to drain with a Yara. The Insatiable Appetite not doing too much work in this game, but still a nice combat trick to have. Sirkara, tapping it out, okay. I can definitely attack with the Savvy Hunter, Merrill Leaf Rider, and before it blocks, I can stack 2 foods to force him to block something. So yeah, the opponent is should be dead. Or I can just play a Wicked Guardian. Yeah. I do like the Appetite with the Merrill Leaf Riders in the deck, not going to lie, so it can probably lead to some cool cool attacks where I maybe force 2 creatures to attack, and I can even use the Insatiable Appetite to blow him out, to 2-for-1 him. Opening hand, okay, Piper on 2. I guess I'll play Marrowleaf Rider on 2 instead. We're on the draw, so we could just get our 3rd land anytime, so we'll keep. I like the Marrowleaf Rider follow up by the Savvy Hunter, because then we can maybe generate a food. The Piper Swarm is better in the late game as a mana sink, but we currently don't have too much mana to spend. So I think it's fine just leading with Marrowleaf Rider. I can even play Tempting Witch to hold out the 2-1 next turn. But in the blue-red deck, he's mostly going to have the draw 2 going on, so depends on what I want to do next turn. We'll see. Okay, that's a strange pump. You could have a barge in here, or you're just going to hit me for 4. All right, sure. I guess since he used a Scorching Dragonfire, it could just be safe to play the Savvy Hunter now. You could have another removal spell, but then it's hard to enable the card draw mechanic in on my turn unless you have Thrill of Possibilities. So I think I'm fine playing off the Savvy Hunter, which is a better target for him to remove with the Scorching Dragonfire. And I'm fine taking 2 if he attacks because that does imply he has an opt of some sort. Luckily this can't attack, so... Well, he has a second one. Okay. Need to play black for Ayara. I can play Tempting Witch, keep up a Pump Trick. Or I can play Tempting Witch and... I mean, I can play a Piper and keep the Pump Trick, which could be fine, I think. Because the Tempting Witch isn't even good at blocking. Or I can just play out the Tempting Witch anyways, maybe set up some sort of out muscle, and just save Piper in the Pump Trick later. Yeah, let's just do that. Rimrock Knight, not really a card like in blue-red, and okay, he just has all the Scorching Dragonfires. So have I played the Piper, I could have eaten it with the Pump Trick, but we'll just see. Say go. And I can block the 2-1. If he uses a trick, I'll just use a Garenbrig Carver. But triple Scorching Dragonfire is pretty insane. Okay, I'll just use a Pump Trick now. I mean, this is going to gain first strike, so I think it's better to use the Pump Trick to hold off the 3-1 instead. And I'm hoping he doesn't have a Red Cap melee. I mean, I think it might be better to just block the Wolverine because I can just make 1/1s. Yeah, I mean, sure, it's better to... Sure, I might run the risk of playing against a first striker, but I still think I'm going to do it here. Red Cap melee would totally blow me out if he has it. Or another Rimrock Knight, but thank God he doesn't have another one. It's a little bit more risky block, but higher reward, so now I can start activating the Piper and making rats. So yeah, that seems good. Or just play out Ayara, or just play out the Garenbrig Carver and then make a rat at the end of turn. Maybe that's just better. And then we'll say go, and if not, we'll just gain some life, and hopefully the food can help us stabilize. So Searing Barrage here will do 3 to my face, 1 and take 1 for the Tome Raider, so I'll be down to 2. I think that's okay. Sure, so I need to fight off the Tome Raider. It's probably going to name blue to hit me for 2. Sure. I think he forgot about that. And I'll definitely outmuscle now. Yeah, since I'm planning to activate the Piper, I don't think I'm going to want to put a counter onto it. I can make a rat or gain some food and gain some life end of turn, we'll see. And this will allow me to attack past the 2-3 anyways. I'll take 3, so I won't die, but I can at least make a rat, so I'll fall down to 1, which is fine. The 1/1 rat menace token can matter. And I can just sack the boon now so I don't end up dying to another Searing Barrage. And then next turn I can gain more life with the Malevolent Noble. So yeah, we're stabilizing very well. Opponent with all the removal spells, but we managed to even play around his stuff. He can start using the Merchant to loot, but I don't care. The Wolverine can be a bit annoying, so we'll see. Does this count as a black creature? I guess it does, so now I can stack the 1/1 to drain him. Yeah, I feel like I want to just take out the Noble here, the Merchant. It's going to be quite annoying. Yeah, let's just take it out. And then I can still attack in for 5 maybe, or 4. I'll attack in for 4, since I might need the 1/1 to block and sack. I can still put the 1/1 in front of it and sack it, so I don't. So even if he enables it, even if he has more power, I don't really care. So sure, guess that's a good ground blocker now. Yeah, that might be a little bit rough to take out. So might need a pump trick or drain him out with my creatures. We'll see. Do I want to sack this? Not really. We'll just say go. And then... yeah, we'll just pass the turn. This doesn't gain an card advantage, but it does allow him to loot away lands and convert them to spells. Okay, hopefully no card draw here to make 1/1s, because that's going to be annoying. I might just activate a Yara end of turn to sack the 1/1 to draw card. Let's just do that. Enchanted Carriage, okay. Bell of the Brawl, okay. And, yeah, no good attacks, we'll just say go. I'm hoping he just doesn't make a million fairies and kill me. But I like the fact that the Bell of the Brawl has Menace, so now I can maybe attack with it next turn and get him. He's probably going to loot here and make a fairy. And that's fine, I still have enough. He can still double block the 3/2. He needs to double block the 3/2 because he's down to 4. And then he can block off my biggest creature being the 4/3, and so I can still swing out and kill him. So we have this game, I think. So unless he plays something for 1 mana and gets me here, I don't know how he can beat me. And this won't have first strike on his turn, so yeah, I think he's just dead. Opening hand, okay. We have 2/2 drops. I think I'm fine keeping. Yara and Surfarin are kind of at odds with each other, but I'm not going to say no to 2 Marrowleaf Riders on turn 2. Edgewall Innkeeper, okay. I guess I'll just play out the Edgewall Innkeeper and hope it doesn't die, since I don't mind just playing out the Curious Pair and drawing a card. So could see a Reave Soul in the Edgewall Innkeeper next turn. But I do want to make sure I get a card draw with this Curious Pair so I can hit my land drops. Although now I just hit my land drop, but I'll still play out the Curious Pair to get value ASAP. So if I played out the Marrowleaf Rider, it still wouldn't have done anything. Here I'm fine just playing out Swamp because I can just play the Forest next turn and play out Surfarin if I want to. So maybe another black-green Foods deck that's trying to enable the Sorcerer's Broom in the late game. Yep, Lost Legion, good ground blocker. Okay, so maybe I can play out the Marrowleaf Rider eventually and just force a trade on one of these creatures depending on what he does. So I think I'm fine just playing 2 of my 4-drops here, and then we can decide if we get our 3rd Swamp, we will eventually just cast Ayara. And luckily, all my creatures are green, so... And then I can start attacking with the Marrowleaf Riders. Another Lost Legion, okay. I'm fine just attacking with both Marrowleaf Riders. I guess I don't even need to sack the Foods, to be honest, since the 1/3 will keep the 2/3s back. It could be nice if I had like a Pump Spell and another Food so I can force a double block and 2 for 1 the opponent. But that's still kind of wishful thinking, I think. Okay, Karen Break Carver is nice. Yeah, I feel like it's just fine to just attack. And I'll decide whether or not I want to even use the Carver or not, or just play out the Surfarin. So do I want to save a creature here? I can save it and then just play out the Surfarin, but... Okay, interesting. So this is playing around a Pump Trick. I'll definitely kill 2/3. I guess I don't mind using a Pump Trick now because I might just want to play the Garen Break Carver next turn to draw a card. So maybe I'm fine just using the Shield's Might here and keeping one of my one of them alive. So this is fine. And then we'll say go. Save the food for maybe a forced block on something that he plays next turn. And then the Garen Break Carver can draw me a card with the Edgewall Innkeeper. So that's why I'm playing a little bit weird here. I'm fine with this. Right. Ocame Adversary. So I'm definitely going to force him to trade with the Ocame Adversary because it would be a big mistake if he didn't. Okay, I don't know why he's attacking here. There's no reason to. And we'll definitely play the Garen Break Carver to draw a card. And then now another adventure creature, excellent. So now what I can do is, I'm definitely going to force the adversary to trade. Like, I could get value from the Smitten Swords Master, but I don't really want that. So we're just going to force the adversary to trade here, and that's fine. Because the adversary is just too good of a card to have. Deathless Knight, you can always just get back. Am I fine just taking 4 here? I mean, the trade isn't bad, but he would just get it back, which is annoying, so I guess I'll just take 4. It's not like I'm that low on life. I can sack and destroy the Lost Legion. Alternatively, I think I'm fine just using the Smitten Swords Master here. Actually, that didn't do anything, sorry. I should have just casted him and played off Surfarin. I thought I had a Knight still, so I don't know. Either way, that was just bad. And now I can play out the Scalding Cauldron. And I guess I'm fine attacking with the 3/2 since the 2/1 can just trade. And I don't really care about having too many Knights in the deck at this point. This is a fine trade. He can again get back his Deathless Knight, but I don't really care. I mean, actually, I could just take 4 and maybe like I can set up a turn where I Surferin and pump Smitten. So I definitely misplayed. Shouldn't have used the Adventure portion. Should have just played the Smitten and then play out Surferin. So I would have him on the board earlier. So then I could have pumped and get in a nice attack. So yeah, not making the most optimal plays again. Stupid me. Maybe he has a recursion spell, like once in future to get back his stuff. That would be pretty annoying. Yeah, that would definitely be very annoying, especially if he uses Forever Young. But I got a lot of cards off of this Edgewall Innkeeper, just not hitting my land drops. But overall, the curve is pretty low anyways, so I'll eventually just be able to double spell once I get one more land. Yup. I mean, those aren't amazing cards he got back, so I don't really care too much. The fact that this can make another food is also very annoying. So maybe I just trade anyways, or just take it. Because I do need to find a way to pressure him, hopefully. Or put enough toughness onto a creature, but he just passes. Huh. Yep, let's just play out the Fierce Witch Stalker, and then maybe I can fight something here, and then set up 5 toughness so his Deathless Knight can't attack past it. Of course, he could be sandbagging a whole bunch of removal spells too, so it's not necessarily the best situation to be in. Maybe I'm fine trading. Okay, making me discard 2. Appetite we probably don't need. And yeah, Surferin's fine, but maybe I just prefer Ayara at this point. Or I can just ditch the Enchanted Carriage. So I'm probably gonna save the I'm probably just gonna use the Out Muscle to fight the Reaper once he casts it. I could even use the Enchanted Carriage as the creature to fight the Reaper with, since this can dodge sorcery speed removal. So it's pretty interesting what I can do here. So I'm definitely going to fight off the Reaper. I won't have Adamant. I can also have a choice to use a Scalding Cauldron. I mean, either way, if I untap this, he's just going to use maybe like a Bacon to apply on, but at least I can just dodge sorcery speed removal. So it's not clear what I want to do. Yeah, let's just kill this. And hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me. Hopefully no Pump Trick, because that will be a huge blowout, but I think I have to go for this. Please sack the food. That's a strong card, okay. So now I don't have a window to take out the Wildborn, because he can just play any non-human and grow this into like a million. Okay, so more threats to deal with. Does he have another recursion spell? Seriously? So he probably has like a Forever Young still, making me discard with the Reaper, and then that's really annoying. And then maybe I can, at least that gives me a window to maybe use the Cauldron on the Wildborn Preserver. Yeah, this is bad. Opponent's just gonna grind me out here. Would have been nice to get some lands to deal with this, but now we top deck the land. Okay, so still in a very rough spot. Let's just kill this right away before it gets out of hand. And then I guess we'll just stay back and then accumulate some cards so eventually he doesn't kill us with the Reaper. So it's going to be a little bit difficult and tricky to win against this opponent. Sure. Definitely going to be very tricky because he has a lot of life gain to get back the Deathless Knight. Paladin, on the other hand, can maybe can help me block off the 4/2, and it's pretty difficult to block. So yeah, I guess I'll risk it here. Take 4 per turn at the time, for the time being, and play out the Paladin. I need to develop the board anyways, and this needs to become a 5/5 to hold off the 4/2. Of course, I'll be taking 4 per turn, which I don't like, but I mean, I need some sort of attacker. Another Reaper of Knights. Okay. You could set up a double block with the Reaper and the Deathless Knights. Pretty annoying. I guess I'll be taking 8 unless I trade. So I guess I'm fine attacking with the Garenbreak Paladin and offering a trade with the Reaper of Knights. I think I'm fine with it so he doesn't deal too much face damage to me, and my game plan might just be hope to stall off the Deathless Knight. He's chumping, okay. Sure. Because he can just get back, of course, with haste. It's fine with me. Sure. I'm still at a decent life total here. So eventually maybe the Savvy Hunter can maybe get an attack and make some foods, or I can just sandbag this. But he's just going to use this as a chump blocker for now. Yeah, I guess I don't have enough life. So I guess I need to send in the Smitten Swordsmaster and gain a little bit of life here. Survive for one more turn, so these will stay as ground attackers. Two or fewer, so I just need one more card to stop enabling flying for with these Reapers. I do have one more out muscle in this deck. Yeah, but yeah, getting Reaper twice is very brutal. I just wish I didn't hit my land drop so I could at least deploy my creatures earlier, but that's a risk that you run when you are when you're not hitting your land drops. You just the Reapers can just mill you. I mean, not mill you, but make you discard your cards in the late game. So that was quite brutal. But opponent had a decent deck. I just don't like the 3-mana 2/3 knights. But I guess they were just random ground blockers that help him scry. Okay, this hand sucks, but do I still keep? We do have both of our colors. It's not a very amazing hand, but I think I'll keep it. And hopefully I can top deck a 3-drop or 2-drop. Like this card. Okay, not bad. Play the black mana because I have a swamp to follow up for sure. So I don't have to show my secondary color yet. Squire right away. Okay. At least the Savvy Hunter can block it. So that last game I should have made a misplay of activating the adventure on with the 2/1, and that might have made my board state a lot worse. The game could have definitely went different. Okay, another green-white adventures deck, which, you know, I don't think is the best archetype in the set. Probably one of the worst, unless you pick up the Edgewall Innkeeper and the Mysterious Pathlighter. Saving the Scalding Cauldron for any potential other threats. Here, he's holding priority, maybe holding full control, or maybe he does have the 2-mana pump trick. I can curve out into Wicked Guardian later, or just play the Fierce Witch Stalker. Probably just play the Fierce Witch Stalker. And then if he stays back with 2/1, I can do an attack. This is definitely a pump trick, no blocks. Adversary, I think I need to kill that. Yeah, just main phase it. I'll make him use it now if he has it, and I'll just trade for it maybe. I could have actually made him use it on his turn, so then he taps out, but yeah, I should have made him use it on his turn, but yeah, now I think I'm fine just saying go. And then I'm fine trading for the 2/3 so he doesn't draw a million cards. Yeah, I should have made him use it on his turn, so I should just pass priority, and then if he attacked I would just blocked and then maybe saved it for something else, but yeah, that wasn't a good play. I should just wait until his turn to activate, so then he would tapped out for his turn, so now he can develop the Carver. So yeah, so it's a no-brainer block here. Definitely not going to let him draw cards. Okay, that's annoying. It's just a 4/4 though. I can maybe sub an out muscle for next turn, so I guess I'll play my Fierce Witch Stalker. And hopefully he doesn't have his own out muscle. Hopefully he just taps out here and I can just take 4 maybe and just out muscle, killing the Garenbreak Paladin. But if he has his own or any single sorcery removal spell, I should be in trouble here. So probably not blocking the 4/4. Or I could. I mean, blocking it isn't that bad. Yeah, let's just go for the block. Okay, he had another 4/4 anyways incoming, so I think the block was fine. Alright, I might even just trade off this Wicked Guardian. Alright, the opponent is running out of resources. I am, however, getting mana screwed. Ooh, wow, Garrick? Yeah, we're not beating Garrick. I think I'm just going to hit the concede button. Yeah, there's no way we're beating this. Even if I manage to stabilize, yeah, Garrick is just a broken card. So there you go, another game. Another game down the toilet. So let's just hope we don't see another top deck Garrick again. I mean, yeah, that was just insane. There was no way I was going to beat that. I even had a pretty decent curve, but I couldn't get my 5th land to save my life that matchup. Fine, keep. Obviously not going to play Piper out since Merrilleaf Rider into Tempting Witch is a better synergistic pair. The Piper, again, just better in the late game where I can start activating its ability. And we're not looking to use Mana Sinks too early. Not happy seeing a 5-drop, but it's okay. Could just play out the Tempting Witch here, save the Cauldron, or I can just use the Cauldron and get him for 3. Kind of like just playing the Tempting Witch. He could play something even more annoying that I'd rather kill the Cauldron, and we'll just say go. If he just passes the turn with nothing, then I'm fine just using the Cauldron. Okay. So both creatures are pretty annoying. Guess I'm fine just double spelling here and say go. And I think I would use the Cauldron on the Raging Redcap since the 1/3 can hold it off. Can't activate its abilities. Sure, I can still sack it to gain value with the Malevolent Noble, so I don't actually hate it. No enchantments yet for the 2/2. I guess he has a Trapped in Tower, but I can just sack it. Yeah, I guess I can ambush the 2/2 and sack it to the Malevolent Noble, so I might just consider that. So I think this turn, I guess I could also just Toonville Tree Folk on the Merrilleaf Rider, forcing a double block. I mean, forcing the Youthful Knight to block maybe. I mean, I guess he has 2 First Strikers, so it's not worth doing. Yeah, let's just keep up our stuff next turn and see what happens. If he decides to attack, I'll just use a Noble to stack the Piper and just ambush him. And then this is a fine attempt to trade. Yeah, we got him there. That was really nice. This is why Trapped in Tower is not so amazing. Ooh, okay. Just play out the Paladin. Why not? So we'll trade. We'll save the Tree Folk term for maybe later. Another Flare Fox, okay. I guess I can now use the Cauldron to kill the 1/3 and go from there, but we'll see. Yeah, I can play out Surferin and use the Cauldron, so I think this is fine. And we'll just attack with the 5/5. And I guess the Tree Folk on the Surferin might even just be better. Carriage. Okay, so he'll have artifacts now anyway, so I guess we'll just let this resolve. Yeah, we can't ambush the carriage. I mean, I can. It's not going to do anything, so maybe I just kill the Flutter Fox in this scenario. Yeah, this is just better to take out because now he just has an artifact anyway, so this is fine. Yeah, this seems like a cool combo. So now what I can do is I can use Surferin, put 2 counters here. Again, I don't want to force the Brimstone Trebuchet to block. I can now use the Sack of Food. Force, what's this? Gets +X, where X is Surferin's power. And I can just force the Youthful Knight to block, maybe. or just trade off. Let's see. I think I want to force the Youthful Knight to trade or the Raging Redcap. I mean, he's most likely going to use the carriage to crew something, so maybe it's not worth doing here. Yeah, it's probably not worth doing. Let's just attack for 5, I think. Because he can just use the carriage to crew anything anything I decide to force a trade with, and that would be pretty rough. Now the question is, am I fine trading off Sir Farron? I don't hate trading off Sir Farron and maybe forcing the jump because he doesn't have a good double block on this. So I think we're just going to drain the opponent end of turn with the food. And then he's forced to chump the Garenbreak Paladin and maybe trade off the Loathsome Unicorn, so this seems good. Yeah, let's just play land, move to combat. And then I can pump Garenbreak Paladin, forcing the 3/3 to chump. And sure, he can crew and take out my 4/4, but he's forced to chump this, which is not great. He's forced to chump the 9/9, and yeah, trade off for the 4/4, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if this is correct, because he needs to prevent 9 damage. Okay, I guess he's going to chump and keep the carriage. Seems fine. This is a very good trade for me, since I get to kill his board, and he loses the chump blockers. And now it's fine just getting in for attacks every turn with my large creatures. I can even just sack the Marrowleaf Rider to the Malevolent Noble and go for an attack next turn. So then if he decides to double block the Malevolent Noble, he won't be able to first strike it away. Since these first strikers are going to hold off the Marrowleaf Rider, I don't think it's useful anymore. I feel like it's just better to sack to the Malevolent Noble and hope the opponent makes some misplays or bad blocks for next turn. Is he seriously attacking here? I don't really agree with an attack if he decides to do it here. Yeah, I don't really agree with an attack. A Charming Prince to... I guess he's looking to, yeah, blink it to make more 1/1s. Seems to make sense. Okay. Pretty decent play. Although Savvy Hunter can now just make foods and just drain the opponent out, so I don't mind just playing this. And my fine attacking the Tree Folk. Yeah, I guess I'm fine attacking with the Tree Folk, and then if he plays... I mean, he can always crew the carriage and double block the 5/5, so I don't really want that. So yeah, let's just attack with the Tree Folk, I think. I can also attack with the 3/3, but I'd rather have the turn where I can make a food with the Savvy Hunter instead. I'm pretty happy with this exchange. So 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I guess I like this. I should be able to 3-for-1 him. But he needs to hope to top deck something good, but I guess the opponent doesn't want to chump forever, so... Fine exchange. And then now I can attack with the Noble. He doesn't have red to activate the Weasel back, so it's not going to be too good for him. But now what I can do is I can even force the Red Cat Raiders to block, or I just use Outmuscle. Outmuscle with Adamant should do it, maybe. He can Crude, but who cares? He won't be able to block the Garenbrig Paladin unless he wants to lose his carriage. And I can just make a move food and just drain him next turn with the Savvy Hunter and Tempting Witch, so yep. That's the problem with red in this set, aggro in general, because it's just that black-green has a lot of life gain and large creatures. And also the 3 toughness from Tempting Witch holding off the 2-1 the entire game definitely helped. Seems fine. Triple Marrowleaf Rider and a Tempting Witch. Can't say no to that. Generally speaking, I do like to hide my secondary color, but given that we have Ayara, I feel like it's fine showing him the second color. Because I need to eventually cast her for 3 mana, so this is fine. Could just leave the Savvy Hunter or just play Tempting Witch. I think I'll play a Tempting Witch maybe into the counter spell. Actually, it's even better to maybe force him to trade. So I feel like it's fine just doing this and then forcing the Acolyte to trade. Because this can help him ramp, which I don't want him to use. So this seems pretty good. Prevents any Adamant shenanigans as well, so... Yeah, next turn we can double spell to a second Rose Thorn Acolytes, okay. But we drew both our Savvy Hunters. Let's just be mana efficient here and deploy our hand. Hopefully no giant creature that I can't attack past. Like the Garenbrig Paladin or Keeper of Fables. I'm fine with this. Tree Folk isn't bad. So I can't really double spell anyways, so I think it's fine using the Tree Folk, or I can set up the Savvy Hunter and Tree Folk for next turn. Like, the Tree Folk can maybe offer a trade, but I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, let's just play the Savvy Hunter and then Tree Folk on her so she can attack past the 3-4 next turn. So glad he used the Outmuscle early, so now hopefully no more removal. Still has 4 mana to untap with the to use on with the Rose Thorn Acolytes. Okay, this is why we have sack outlets, but we'll just play the second Savvy Hunter. Don't really want to play the Tree Folk just yet. I feel like I can get more value off of this. And I might just keep land in hand to represent something. Tomb Raider, sure. Another Golden Age. Okay, so now I can put a counter onto the Savvy Hunter and get to town. Or I can put a counter on the Marrowleaf Rider and then force a trade with that Rose Thorn Acolyte. Although we do have Garenbrig Carver already. So this is pretty interesting. What I can do is I can load up counters on the Savvy Hunter. I can load up counters on the Marrowleaf Rider, make a food with the Savvy Hunter. And then force him to trade. and still have the Garenbray Carver up. That seems like a pretty good idea. Alternatively, I can load up counters onto the Savvy Hunter here and attack, and then he doesn't get a good block. But I feel like this is a lot more fun, just yeah, just doing this. And we can even hold full control here. He might even tap this to make a food, I guess. But we'll see. Could see a runaway together. Maybe I just let damage happen and save the Garenbray Carver, but it's really nice having the 5-2. Hopefully no runaway together, because this will definitely set me back. Yeah, I'll save the combat trick. I feel like I'll pass priority. Yeah, passing priority is fine, I think, because I might run the risk of running into runaway together, which I don't want to happen. Because in the worst case scenario, he can bounce the Tome Raider, bounce my creature, and reset my counters. The Quarry I don't really care about. He can triple block, but I'll just use the Carver. And it's fine also attacking my other Savvy Hunter here, I think. So we'll just move to attacks. Although, yeah, I haven't used a pump spell yet, so this is fine. He does make food, but who cares? And I guess the only thing that can, even if he has a So Tiny, I should be able to deal with this, so pretty nice. He does make a million food, but they're not creatures or anything, so. Should have maybe kept land in hand, I don't know. I feel like now I can start using the foods to draw cards instead of dealing damage to him because he has so much foods already. Feyburrow Elders, okay. A 3-3, that's annoying, so I can only attack with the 3-3 now. Wicked Guardian is nice, okay. Although, maybe just playing out the Tree Folk is fine here. I think I'm fine attacking the 3-3. 3-2, I mean. The food stuff, blue-green doesn't have too much food in this set, so it's not necessarily a good combination for the food archetype. It's mostly green-black that's trying to do the whole food thing, so it's a little bit awkward running a Wolf's Quarry and all these food cards in your type of deck. I guess he's trying to splash for stuff like Rumgoli. I guess it's a 4-4 now, which is hard to deal with. But I think if he double blocks, I'm just going to trade the Tree Folk for the 3-3. A Yara, okay. Let's move to combat. I'm fine killing the Grumgoli again because this can just grow his creatures to an insane amount. And I'll just play a Yara first, even though I would love to get Wicked Guardian down to draw a card. A Yara just gives a lot more value because I'll be able to drain him, and then I can also drain him again and draw a card. Yorvo, that's fine. A 5-5 Yorvo, trading for the 6-5. I don't hate that. I'll happily trade off Yorvo if I have to. But I can also outmuscle, which seems even better. You could have a bounce spell here. And this is adamant, so now it's indestructible. Opponent's playing some interesting jank. Unfortunately, I won't be able to sack the Savvy Hunter because it's blue. So. Fine just draining him out at this point, I think. Force him to stack his foods. Paladin. Paladin's pretty nice. Yeah, let's just attack for the tree folk. And even if I take out like Golgari, this is going to become a 3/3, so then I can start attacking with my other creatures. Nice 2-for-1. Let's take out Golgari first, because he's the scariest, of course. And there's no board wipes in blue-green, so I don't really care. Even if he has all these foods, I should be able to kill him. So definitely a weird splash color. 4 colors. The Fey Burrow Elders, that's pretty cute. And he even managed to pull it off with the eggs. So I congrat my opponents for managing to make 4 colors work. Especially even with a card like Yorvo being triple green, he managed to play out his stuff. So you never know. Overall, yeah, I just didn't think he had any great synergy in his archetype. So let's keep playing. Alright, decent curve. We can Curious Pair, save the adventure portion for the Edgewall Innkeeper, and then we can maybe play the Piper. Although I don't really want to play the Piper on 2, I'll still play it. I mean, if he removes it, sure. Like, there's not much. I don't really want to play the Curious Pair when I have an Innkeeper in the deck that can draw me cards. Tracker, okay. Let's see. Yeah, the Piper can hold off the Tracker. And unless he plays red mana here, I'm not going to be blocking. So I think I'm fine even attacking for 1 next turn and then playing out the Tempting Witch. Or I can just start making tokens. But I feel like I'm just going to curve out with the Tempting Witch anyways. So I feel like this is better in the late game once he deploys his bombs. And it's better to just curve out, honestly. Yeah, let's just move to attacks. Wildwood Tracker, it seems fine in a blue-green mid-range deck, but usually it's going to overperform usually in blue-red instead. Okay, removal spell achieved. Now I can attack and then use Wicked Guardian. Play out Wicked Guardian, I mean, so gotta do it pre-main phase. Actually, I could just done 2 damage to 1/3 anyway, so I didn't have to surprise him. But regardless, yeah. I still got my 4/2 down. If he plays a non-human creature, this 1/1 can trade for the 4/2. So he's not in particularly the best spot here, so let's see. Ooh, even I can just play out the Enchanted Carriage here. Let's just move to combat, swing both, and then we can eventually just use a Tempting Witch later to sack foods to kill him. The Merreleaf Rider can even force a trade with a couple of his creatures if I have to. Now, the Fierce Witchstalker is pretty annoying. I don't mind just crewing, attacking, and then if he decides to block, I'll just use the Garenbray Carver to pump. So yeah, let's just do that. Let's just crew here. And I'm not going to attack with the 4/2 because the 1/1 can become a 2-powered creature. I'm happy just using the Carver here if he decides to block. And let's say he's a So Tiny. Even if he has a So Tiny, this will result in a trade. Not a trade, but a kill. Because this will just be a 4/6. So Tiny's not going to do anything here. Yeah. Not an amazing hand, but we're on the play, so I guess I keep. I don't mind just playing out Swordsmaster, although I do have Edgewall Innkeeper in this deck that benefits from the adventure portion. Yeah, I'm on the play, so I feel like I might as well just curve out with the 2/1 to maybe deal a bit of damage to his face. And it's nice to have the Toonvale Treefolk on 4 to put counters onto the Smitten Swordsmaster. So hopefully we can get there. Fine playing off Forest, because if I top deck Sir Karen, I might just prefer playing Sir Farron instead. Plains in the Beloved Princess. Well, that's something new. Okay, I guess I'll just play the Rider. I can't block this, so I guess I'll be doing 2 damage per turn, and he'll be dealing 1 back to me. Sure. Ooh, Beldebrawl? I guess that's not too bad. He might have an outflank, but I'm fine if he uses it here. Yep. Now, the thing is, I don't know if I want to even put counters onto this. It feels like putting counters on Smitten Swordsmaster might just be better. But this does hit pretty hard. Or I can just play out the Tempting Witch instead. Because I do want to save the adventure portion for the bell. But I feel like it's better off to just curve out like this, maybe. And then we can play out the Tempting Witch next turn, and he needs to set up a good double block on the 5/4 eventually. Okay, so he can double block now, but he's willing to still double attack still, so hopefully my Smitten Swordsmaster can hold off the 2/2. Okay, I don't mind a double block. It is a 2-for-1. And it's a pretty neat 2-for-1, so I think I'm fine attacking. And then the Fierce Witchstalker, unless he has removal, still a good ground blocker here. Finally found his second mana, okay. Could just do an all-out attack next turn. He still doesn't have a good double block on the Bell of the Brawl, because it's going to result in a 2-for-1 regardless. He can double block the Fierce Witchstalker with the 3-3 and the 2-2. So I feel like it's fine just playing out Bell. Like, sure, I can maybe get the extra point of life drain for the Smitten Swordsmaster, but that's not really going to accomplish much. So I think I'm fine just attacking with a Bell here, offering a double block. So then my 4-4 can start getting in, but maybe he has an Anthem effect to go wide for this turn, so hopefully I don't run into that issue. I should be able to survive though, even if he has an Anthem effect. The Tempting Witch can just block the biggest creature. Like, I'm hoping there's no, like, whatchamacallit, the adamant thing. So what can he have here? I feel like this block is fine. I don't know if there's any Anthem effects at instant speed. Return to Wild Speaker, though. Maybe that's the only thing. Maybe he only has like an... Okay, that's fine. It still results in a trade, so that was the correct block. I think I'm going to leave my 5-4 back, since I could die to a removal spell, so we'll just play it out, play the Garenbray Carver and say go. So now the 5-4 can maybe block something, so yeah, this is fine, and then I can trade off for, not trade off, but block another creature here, and then drain him with the Smitten Swordsmaster and play a 2-2 to trade for the Beloved Princess eventually, so seems fine. He's probably sandbagging the removal. I think he has a removal spell here. I mean, he's definitely hovering over my creatures. Knew it. So if I didn't keep my creature up, I would have been in trouble. But now I can now play out Surferin, drain him, and then just play out the 2-2 here. 2-1, I mean, and attack with the 5-4. And I'm fine with a double block, since that will 2-for-1 him, which I prefer. I can still afford to take 3, trade off for the 2-2. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this exchange. So now opponent's on top deck mode. I have some adventure creatures to deploy. I can still take 3 from the Lonesome Unicorn, but now I guess he has some adventure creatures. Yeah. Yeah, let's just block here. This is going to be pretty annoying later. And Savvy Hunter is excellent. I could just trade the Savvy Hunter. I think I'm fine blocking, trading the Savvy Hunter, making a food, drawing a card, and then sacking the food to... I mean, sacking 3 foods here to draw a card. We'll see. Yeah, this is a fine trade. And then, yeah, let this happen. Then before damage, I'll just sack 2 foods to draw a card. I can also sack 2 more foods to draw a card, which is a little bit tempting, but I don't mind that. Okay, found an out muscle, so that's even better. Garenbray Carver is great. So now, yeah, I could either tap out for the Toonvale Tree Folk, or I can outmuscle and stay back. I think I'll just play the Tree Folk for now, and then say go. And yeah, let's just say go, and I'm fine trading off the 2/2 if he removes my 6/5. Okay, another land is good news. Now what I can do is I can play land, outmuscle for Adamant. And I can just play out the Curious Pair as a good ground blocker. He has a Pump Trick here. I don't like Pump Tricks. Okay. I still gain a counter though, so I can get in a huge attack. Yeah, just get in a huge attack. And then he'll be down to 2, unless he chumps, okay. And I can still hold on to my Curious Pair in case I top deck the Innkeeper, because he doesn't have any creatures. But he's just going to crap out a bunch of 2/2s at this point. And if he decides to do some sort of block on the Surfarian, I can just pump it. And Outflank can't get me here because the toughness levels are just too high. And now I can deploy the Garenbray Carver and still keep the Curious Pair in my hand for the Edgewall Innkeeper if I ever play it, if I ever find it. Alright, sweet. Off to the final boss. And then I'll probably just do a deck overview after I get my 7 wins. But yeah, another 18k gems. One more win, we can get up to 22ks. Yep. Didn't think this deck would make it to 7, but at least it made it to 6, which I'm quite happy with. So it shows you the power of black-green in this deck. Although my black-green deck didn't have a single bacon to the pie, epic downfall, and didn't have too many amazing curve toppers, it was still fine. So let's see, opening hand, we can Curious Pair, play him out. Can be a little bit awkward if I don't get my 3rd land, but I think I'm still keeping. And hopefully playing out the Curious Pair doesn't... I mean, I could just skip playing the Curious Pair, to be honest, but I might need the body just to block and use a Pump Trick on, but with the 3rd land drop, I probably don't need it. Since it's not even really an efficient attacker, just say go. Next turn I can just play out Bell and get started. And there's no counter spell for 2 mana here, so I don't need to worry about anything. Play out the Swamp in case I top deck another Swamp for Ayara. Could see a Soul Tiny end of turn on Bell. But I'll still deal 1 damage per turn, which isn't a lot, but still fine. Probably see a counter spell here, so... Which one do I want to get countered? Let's just move to combat. I guess I'd rather have the Fierce Witchstalker get countered. The Savvy Hunter can do a lot of work. Yeah. And I guess it's also on curve, so but I guess he doesn't have a counter spell here. So yeah, happy that this managed to resolve. And So Tiny is not a good answer to this, only like Charm Sleep. And it's also really good, the Pump Trick from Garenbray Carver. I'm willing to attack with both here, and this also has Menace, so I don't need to worry. And now you can use the Carver and punish him. So that's nice. So I think I'm still gonna hold on to this Curious Pair, and I won't sack the foods because the Savvy Hunter can provide card advantage. So the Oakham Adversary is pretty annoying. So I'm planning to maybe trade off for it. So if I'm not going to be using the 4/4, I guess I'll just attack with the 1/2. And he didn't seem to have a counterspell 2 turns ago, so I think I'm still fine playing out the Wicked Guardian here. And hopefully it doesn't get countered. He's holding on to priority of the food, which I don't care about. And then now I can use on the Fierce Witchstalker, and then the 4/2 can trade off for the 2/3. Marrowleaf Rider, okay. I could just still attack with the 4/2 and then just play out the Carver. Seems fine. Or just play out, or just attack with the Fierce Witchstalker regardless. But I think the Wicked Guardian is a lot more disposable, so we'll just try this instead. And he's still taking 4, which is a lot. And yeah, let's just curve out. Surprised the opponent managed to play all this mana, but still didn't play anything. Now I can freely attack with the 4/2 maybe. I'm fine taking 4 back, or I can just use Out Muscle. I can definitely get punished if I use Out Muscle here. So now what? He didn't have a counter spell for blue, so I think I go for it. No. No, let's not go for it. Let's just attack with 4/2 here. And I can just play out the Rider, maybe set up a block. Okay, let's see what he's doing here. Could see us so tiny. Okay, your trade is good, so now I can go to play. I can do another. So I don't need to play out the Marrowleaf Rider since it won't attack past the Fierce Witchstalker. So I think the Savvy Hunter is correct, and hopefully no counterspell. Okay, finally had a counterspell. He had a counterspell all along, so sure. But I was playing too many high-powered creatures, I presume, so. Yeah, I feel like I need to outmuscle here. I'll kindly take 4. I'll muscle the Fierce Witchstalker, and then hopefully get an attack in. I can't really. I have to do it here, I think, and hopefully no. Okay, this is solid, and now I can attack with both. I mean, you could have a flash creature here that I need to play around. So maybe I still attack with these two. Like the Fairy Vandal here can trade off for the 4/1, and I don't want that. So a little bit of a safer play, but I think I'm pretty far ahead, so I don't have to worry too much. Sure. Maybe the opponent has his own Edgewall Innkeeper and he's sandbagging his adventures. So no good attacks with the Insatiable Appetite though. Yeah, I guess I'm fine saying the 5/5, especially with Insatiable Appetite, and I can even stack the food too. So that seems like a good idea. He can double block the 1/2, so I guess I'll just send the Fierce Witchstalker here. Order the 4/4 first, and I'll sack a food here, I think, to get the extra trample damage. Of course, I can get totally blown out by an interaction spell here at instant speed. Not blown out, but okay. Okay, it's still fine. So double Hypnotic Sprite. So at least I take out the 4/4, which isn't that big of a deal. And then I still have a Marrowleaf Rider for next turn, for this turn. I can stack the Marrowleaf Rider, force both Hypnotic Sprites to block, and 2-for-1 them. That's pretty solid. Alternatively, I can keep my food for my Tempting Witch, but I feel like it's better to just force them to block with the Marrowleaf Rider and trade, so I don't hate it here. And hopefully he didn't top deck anything else. Yeah, it's going to get pumped anyway, so it's going to be a 2-for-1, which I don't mind. So, please no instant speed. So now I can 2-for-1 him, he'll take 4. Obviously going to name Hypnotic Sprite first. And I'm fine just playing out Surferin because the Bell of the Brawl benefits the Knights, so we'll just play him out. And hopefully no more crazy top decks. And finally we can get a giant Garenbreak Paladin out, but I'm fine just attacking here. And we'll target the Bell in case he has removal for the 3-2, since the Bell is already locked down, and I'd rather just get the Bell going. So yeah, you can see the power of green in the set. Just so many amazing creatures at common. A lot of amazing uncommons and some powerful rares too. Wondering why he's using this with the Beanstalker Giant. I guess he can cast it anyways, so... Right, so we need to maybe go wide here and win. So why not just start draining him with Ayara instead? And then we'll just say go, use the 3-2 to chump block, and then we can start playing black creatures to drain him. Okay. Seems like a great curve out. I guess I could even stack the Bell. No, I'll use it for maybe end of the turn because it could still be a chump blocker here. So I'm fine just curving out and saying go, and I'll stack the Bell end of turn if he decides to attack or not. Outmuscle can't kill it, but I can use a Tempting... I guess I can Alpha and use Tempting Witch to kill him. Yeah, let's just move to attacks. Whatever he blocks, I'll just stack to the Noble. Alright, a nice 7-win victory with a black-green mid-range deck. Not the best black-green deck I've drafted because, again, let's just go through do an overview of the deck before we crack some packs. And I'll do that as quickly as possible because I only have like a couple minutes left. Yep. One moment. Okay. Alright, this black-green mid-range foods deck. Not the best. I think this is a B+ deck, but it managed to get to 7 wins somehow. The problem with this deck is that there's just not too many amazing curve toppers. Tuneville Tree Folk, Enchanted Carriage, Garenbreak Paladin are kind of like our only top-end creatures that can maybe help close out the game. I guess Ayara is kind of like a late game win condition as well. So I guess Ayara is like our best bomb in the deck. Because she managed to finish off a lot of matches. So yeah, not the most amazing black-green deck. The problem is that this black-green deck was lacking some powerful fundamental removal like Vacant to Apply and Epic Downfall, as well as Reave Souls. So yeah, unfortunately we had to use our Merleaf Rider as a bit of interaction just to force the opponent's creatures to block. So yeah, Merleaf Rider does have some decent upside sometimes, just maybe forcing the opponent to trade a creature off and by sacking a food. But yeah, overall it was okay. I usually drafted better black-green decks with the Keeper of Fables at the top end, multiple Garenbreak Paladins instead of the Enchanted Carriage, Reaper of Knights, and also, just better black removal spells in general. But yeah, it's a solid deck. We didn't see Edgewall Innkeeper too much, but only in one game where, we actually lost with that Edgewall Innkeeper game since we couldn't get our 5th land and the opponent Reaper of Midnight us twice. But yeah, It has the Edgewall Innkeeper, which benefits from some of the adventure creatures that we have. A bit of food synergy with the Savvy Hunter as a card draw engine. By sacrificing foods, Merrilleaf Rider can force trades with the foods. Malevolent Noble benefits from food tokens since they can sacrifice and generate them. Tempting Witch can deal 3 damage whenever a food is stacked. So overall, I think this deck is very medium. I think it's just like B+. I wouldn't name it like an A-level deck. Because there's really no broken bombs. The only true bomb in this deck, I guess, is Ayara, but she's not even broken. She can easily get answered by Scorching Dragonfire or Reave Soul, and then I guess there's also the Edgewall Innkeeper, which I would also not consider a bomb. I guess Piper Swarm still isn't a bomb. I mean, it takes too long to get the Black Rat creature tokens, but it's definitely a creature that must be answered ASAP. Otherwise, it can just easily steal a creature in the late game. So. Solid deck, but nothing too amazing, and we managed to even run 16 lands and get away with it. The reason why is that our curve is not very high. Most of our creature curve ends around like 4, with cards like Outmuscle, Scalding Cauldron for 4 mana. So even with 16 lands, we managed to curve out quite nicely, and with only 2 5-drops and a 6-drop, I guess Tomb Vale Treeful only counts as a 4-drop as well. We managed to run away with 16 lands plus an Insatiable Appetite, which is quite surprising since usually with a lot of 4-drops you would expect a 17 land deck, but the fact is the deck just didn't have any amazing ways to generate card advantage outside of the Savvy Hunter. So yeah, I think this deck is fine, and then yeah, let's collect our prize. Since I don't have enough time on my recording left, only 2 minutes, and let's pretend we are doing a Throne of Eldraine draft. Hurry up, come on, stupid software program. Pack 1, pick 1, Throne of Eldraine, Trail of Crumbs versus Turn to a Pumpkin, both excellent cards. Trail of Crumbs play best in the black-green Foods deck, of course. Turn and Pumpkin great in any blue deck, but I think black-green is the best archetype, so I'd be leaning towards Trail of Crumbs as a decent card draw engine with the food synergies going on. Turn and Pumpkin would be more flexible, but blue is probably the second worst color in this set. Sir Conrad, Mythic Uncommon of the set, definitely going to be the pick here. Other great cards include Hypnotic Sprite, Merfolk Secret Keeper, Fierce Witchstalker, and probably Rosethorn Acolyte is like 5th place, I say. But between all 3 of these, it is pretty interesting. Like if you pick up the Merfolk Secret Keepers early, you can drop a powerful mill deck. The Fierce Witchstalker is just a solid creature overall. Hypnotic Sprite can be a decent 2-for-1, countering a creature spell, and then playing out 2/1 flyer that can start dealing damage, or you can just play this for double blue to start attacking right away. But easy Sir Conrad, Mythic Uncommon of the set, along with Keeper of Fables. Definitely both of those are the 2 best uncommons. Yeah, probably take a Fierce Witchstalker. Deathless Knight commits us, but also an amazing card if you can constantly stack food, gain life, and bring this back over and over. Alright, 30 seconds left. I need to kind of explain everything else. Easy Keeper of Fables, probably the best uncommons, but worse than Sir Conrad, but I'd still probably take it out of everything else in the pack. And then Hypnotic Sprite, definitely going to take over Paladin. Paladin is the amazing green common, of course, but you can always pick up one later, and you don't want to play too many Paladins. Easy Improbable Alliance, nothing else is can compete. And then Zendikar Rising, probably take the Infiltrator.